mates, this is going to be a recovery follow-along session. It'll be about 15-20 minutes. You're just moving, stretching out, just getting mobile. Really, really good if you have had a tough week of training and you're looking just to reset and refresh your body, ready for next week. It's going to be split into 3 phases. We're going to do a lying on the ground phase, a kneeling phase, and then a standing phase, going from least dynamic to most dynamic. So as we warm up and get loose, we're just going to progress the tempo slightly, and hopefully by the end you'll have a really nice warm glow, and should be feeling nice and loose and ready to get stuck into whatever else you've got planned for the rest of the day, and indeed good training sessions next week. So copy along, take your time, enjoy, and let's see how we're feeling at the end. So we're going to start lying on our back with a lying knee rock. So hands out to the sides, just letting the legs stretch from side to side. And as you loosen up, just let those knees fall a little bit further to each side. Once you feel like you've loosened up there, bring your legs back to the middle. Take your feet just a little bit wider, about shoulder width apart. And we're going to do 10 nice, smooth glute bridges. No rush, just take your time. And then straight leg raise. Feel those hamstrings loosening off. And then switch over. And then you're going to take one foot, place it over the leg like this, and then you're just going to bring the knee from close to your body to further away. You just feel that nice mobility and movement and stretch through your hip. Control your breathing, just relax on the floor. Remember, this is all about recharge and recovery, and just getting everything loosened up. And then switch over. And then bring your feet together again, but you're going to roll onto your side. Hands out in front of you. And you're just going to stretch over, just keeping the knees together. Feeling that stretch through the upper back. Just keep going. Keep those shoulders back. And then switch over onto the other side. And if you find one side's a little bit tighter than the other, you can just spend a little bit more time on that side. Okay, while we're on the side, we're going to straighten the legs out. You're going to grab the top leg and you're just going to hold that as a quad stretch, okay? So with this arm, you can either pin your head up or just relax down and use your bicep as a pillow. But really try and feel this stretch down the front of the thigh on the leg that you're stretching. Once you're finished on that side, roll yourself over onto the other. And then just enjoy that stretch. So once we've done this, we're going to move from the ground to our second position, which is the kneeling position. And we're going to do a series of exercises that are slightly more dynamic than these ones we've been doing on the ground. And then we'll progress into our standing phase, which is a bit more dynamic again. Okay, so just a few kneeling squats to start with. So tuck your toes underneath, sit back, and then push the hips forward. And we're trying to tip the pelvis back, feeling the abs engaged, feeling this nice stretch on the front of the legs. And then from there, step 1 foot forward, reach up, and then we're just going to mobilise the hips in that position. Keeping that core engaged, keep reaching for the ceiling. If you want to, you can put your hand behind your head, get a bit more of a tricep stretch if that's an area that you feel like needs a little bit of mobility. And then switch over. And just reach behind. Okay, then pop yourself into the hands and knees position. We're just going to take a time and just do a few thoracic rotations to build on that upper body mobility that we've just started working on. Nice and smooth and controlled. And switch sides. Really try and open that chest up as you push the elbow up to the ceiling. Okay, and then let's stretch out. Plenty of space. This is a bird dog, so really good dynamic move. Get the glutes going, core engaged, you can feel it through your shoulders. Make sure you're punching the foot straight back. The heel's not going up to the ceiling. You're keeping the toes close to the floor, punching straight back. And then from there, take your knees a little bit wider and just rock back and rock forward. Just stretch those hips out. If you want to, take the hips even wider. You might need to turn sideways on your mat just so your knees are still on it, on the cushioning, and just rock back and rock back again. And just hold that last position just for a nice stretch through the hips. Just take some deep breaths and just relax. And then to finish, one more on the ground. Take your hands nice and wide, and you're just going to move from side to side. Just stretching out your shoulders and your chest muscles. Okay, so now we're going to move into standing. So we're just going to start with some walking high knees. So make sure the foot's nice and engaged on the floor. Bring that knee up, nice and controlled, as high as you can without leaning back. Feeling the hips waking up, feeling the balance. Improving as we're practicing standing on one leg, which so many of us don't really do. It's actually very, very important, especially as we get older, to maintain the ability to stand on one leg without falling over. And from there, we're just going to go through a series of squats. So starting with quite a narrow stance, just sitting down and coming back up. Nice and controlled. Don't worry about the range of motion for now, just take your time. Feel the ankles mobilising. And then once you've done a few of those, just take the feet a little bit wider. And then just a bit wider again. And then to finish, nice and wide. Instead of going up and down now, we're just going to sit from side to side. Keep those shoulders back. Just while we're in this position, let's do a few no monies, just to loosen those shoulders up. And then just push our hips back. Hands on the floor if you can, and just stretch those hips out. The straighter the legs, the more of the stretch you'll feel. You can bend them just a little bit, just move around. Take some nice deep breaths. And then back to standing, back onto one leg, grab your foot, and stretch those quads out again. They've already been stretched out once, so hopefully not feeling quite so tight this second time. We're just going to bring that balance into play. Control your breathing. And then switch sides. And then we're just going to make our way back down to the floor again, just to finish off. So, press up position, push the hips in the air a little bit, and just rock through those calves. Walk those feet in a little closer as you feel the stretching improving. And then just bring yourself down onto your knees. Spin yourself around. And we're just going to spend a little bit of time just sat nice and tall, pulling those feet back towards us. And just stretching those calves out. If you want to, you can lean in, even grab your toes a touch if you want to, but just be careful on this one. It's more about just sitting there nice and tall. If you need to, you can put a cushion under your bum just to lift your hips up a little bit. That can make it more comfortable. You can either sit with your knees bent if you want, just try and sit nice and tall. A few deep breaths there. Then either one leg at a time or both legs, just bring the feet in towards you, grab your toes, and again just try and sit nice and tall, letting the weight of your legs pull down and fill in that stretch through your adductors. That's these muscles on the inside of your thigh. And then to finish, as I like to do, just because I'm in a few minutes, just in this nice chill position. Close your eyes if you want, but just focus on letting your belly rise with each breath. You can even put your hands on your belly to make sure that's happening. So just relax the shoulders, sink into your floor, and just do a little body MOT. Tips of your toes to the top of your head. Just think, is anything a bit sore, achy, tired, needs waking up? And you can always spend a couple of minutes after we've been here just doing something a little extra, whatever area feels like it needs a bit more TLC. And just open your eyes, stretch yourself out. Hopefully everything's feeling pretty good, pretty loosened off. My calves definitely need a little bit more attention, but I think a nice walk will loosen those up. But other than that, I'm feeling nice and stretched out, ready to tackle the day. So thanks for joining me. If you're watching this back at a later date, then just take your time with it. Remember, the recovery session is not about getting super hot and sweaty. It's more about just looking after your body and keeping it, tip-top condition, ready for your next training session. So have a great day.